There is a kind of peace that feels very different, and not everyone notices it. It does not come from crowded places or long conversations, but only appears when you are alone. When the door closes, the noise outside slowly fades away, and no one is expecting anything from you anymore. In that moment, your breathing becomes slower, lighter, and more real. You do not need to be interesting. You do not need to say the right thing, and you do not need to smile when you do not feel like it. You are simply there, with yourself, and that feeling is not empty the way people assume. In fact, it feels complete in a way that is hard to explain. A kind of quiet that feels more comfortable than anywhere else. And chances are, you have felt this more often than you realize. If you have ever felt more comfortable being alone than being in a crowd, if you have ever turned down an invitation and felt relief instead of regret, then you might understand what this is about. Maybe you have wondered why you are different from the people around you, why you are not drawn to the same things they find exciting. If you want to understand yourself better and see how your mind actually works, stay with this video until the end. And if you are interested in content like this, consider subscribing so you do not miss what comes next. Because what you are about to hear might change the way you see yourself. Not to change who you are, but to understand yourself more clearly. And sometimes, understanding is enough to make things feel lighter. There may have been moments when you asked yourself why you are this way, why other people always want to go out while you would rather stay in. You see them enjoying crowds and social situations so naturally, while you can do the same but never feel completely comfortable. You do not hate people, and you still value your relationships and friendships, but there is a part of you that always wants to return to your own space. That can feel confusing, because you are not sure if something is wrong with you. The truth is that there is nothing wrong with you at all. You are not lacking, and you are not broken in any negative way. You simply feel more at ease when you are alone, and that can make complete sense when you look at it from the right perspective. The real issue is not your preference, but how it is interpreted. From an early age, we are taught that going out is a sign of being active and alive, while staying in is often associated with isolation or missing out. When you hear that long enough, you start to believe that your choice is somehow a lesser version of life. You begin to think that staying home is only what you do when nothing better is happening. But if you look closely, the way you feel when you are alone does not resemble emptiness at all. It is not a void waiting to be filled, but a sense of completeness in its own way. For some people, fulfillment comes from the outside world, but for you, it comes from within. Once you see that clearly, being alone no longer feels like something you need to justify. It becomes a conscious choice instead of something you question about yourself. When you begin to see it this way, things start to make more sense. It is not that you lack energy, it is that the way you gain and spend energy is different. Some people are energized by interaction, by noise, and by constant stimulation from their surroundings. Others only truly recharge when they have space to think and process internally. Their minds are more active when directed inward, when they reflect and go deeper instead of reacting quickly to external input. That is why being alone is not avoidance, but a way of restoring balance. When you keep placing yourself in environments that do not match your system, exhaustion becomes inevitable. But when you return to your natural state, everything feels lighter again. This is not weakness. It is simply how your mind and body are designed to function. At the same time, life is not lived in isolation, and that is where the tension begins. You still face expectations, invitations, and the subtle pressure to be more present socially. You still go out, you still show up, and you still try to fit in, even when you know it is not what you truly want. After each time, you come back with a kind of tiredness that is difficult to explain. It is not because something went wrong, but because you used more energy than you realized. Over time, a question starts to form in your mind, and you begin to wonder if something is wrong with you. You notice the difference between yourself and others, and that difference creates uncertainty. You feel pulled between two sides, the peace of being alone and the pressure to live the way others do. That internal tension becomes more exhausting than anything else. At first, you try to fix it by changing yourself. You push yourself to go out more, to be more open, and to match the energy of others, even when it does not feel natural. For a while, you believe that if you try hard enough, it will eventually become easier. But the more you push, the more disconnected you feel from yourself. Doubt begins to grow, and you start to question whether you are missing something that everyone else seems to have. Then comes guilt, because you cannot enjoy what others consider normal. Over time, that turns into frustration, because you feel misunderstood. Eventually, you reach a point where you stop, not because everything is resolved, but because you can no longer pretend. And in that moment, something begins to shift. When you take a step back and look at things honestly, you begin to see that the issue was never about not doing enough. It was about doing things that do not align with you. You realize that your exhaustion is not a flaw, but a signal that something is not matching your nature. You also see that you are still capable of connection, of care, and of meaningful relationships, just in a different way. Instead of focusing on quantity, you begin to value depth. Instead of always showing up, you choose moments that truly matter. You stop forcing yourself to enjoy things that do not resonate with you. Gradually, things start to feel lighter, because you are no longer working against yourself. This understanding does not change who you are, but it changes how you see your choices. If you have ever felt different just because you prefer being alone, you are not the only one. There are many people like you who live quietly and are often overlooked. They are not loud, not constantly present, and because of that, they are easily misunderstood. But in reality, they are simply living in a different rhythm, one that is not always visible. Sometimes the loneliness you feel does not come from being alone, but from not being understood. You can feel completely fine, even content, and still be questioned by others. That can make you feel like you need to explain yourself or prove that you are okay. But you do not need to do that. Your way of living does not have to match the majority to be valid. And once you see that clearly, the feeling of isolation begins to change. Instead of trying to become a version of yourself that feels more acceptable, you can start by accepting how you naturally function. You do not have to completely avoid social interaction, but you can choose what fits your energy. You can spend time with others while also giving yourself space without guilt. When you understand your limits and your needs, you know when to engage and when to step back. This does not disconnect you from the world. It allows you to engage with it in a more sustainable way. You are no longer pulled by expectations, but guided by awareness. And when you live in alignment with yourself, everything feels clearer. It is not about withdrawing. It is about creating balance in a way that works for you. In the end, what truly matters is not where you spend your time, but how you feel while living your life. Some lives look full on the outside, but feel empty within, while others appear quiet, but are deeply fulfilling. You do not need to be everywhere to prove that you are living fully. Real presence is not about how many places you go, but whether you are truly there in those moments. When you understand this, the pressure to be like everyone else begins to fade. You start to trust that your way of living has its own value. The peace you feel in solitude is not a sign of lack, but a form of completeness. And once you accept that, everything becomes lighter. If you see yourself in this, take a moment to reflect on how you are living and how it makes you feel. If you have ever thought that something was wrong with you just because you prefer being alone, it may be time to see it differently. And if you want to explore more ideas like this, to better understand your mind and your behavior, consider subscribing to the channel. This is not something you figure out in one moment, but a process that unfolds over time. And sometimes, a new perspective is all it takes to begin that process. Thank you for staying until the end of this video. It means you care about understanding yourself on a deeper level. I hope what you heard here not only made you think, but also helped you feel more at ease with your own choices. Everyone lives differently, and there is no single way that fits all. What matters is finding what works for you and having the courage to live that way. If this resonated with you, stay with the channel for more content like this. There is still so much to explore about how we think and feel. And maybe, in another video, you will discover another part of yourself. See you in the next one.